Okay, got a no cooling call here. Power lines everywhere. Yeah, I bet. Let's see if that furnace, did it fire up or did you notice?
Something's running in there.
We ain't going up right here. Froze up solid. So, the ice is gone, the heat's still running. So I don't know how bad it was iced up anyway, because I never heard of a burner cycling. And we're getting a little bit more water. It's cold, makes you want to drink it. All right, we're gonna get rained on, so even though it hadn't melted completely, I want to confirm that is an R22 unit. Get this thing charged up. Before I get soaked. And I think it might be getting ready to happen to me, whether I like it or not. And these newer gauges, this is a 380 instead of a 360, are supposed to be a lot more water resistant. Now keep in mind that standing static is going to show high right now because the coil is so hot. I've got the heat running. Look at that nice job of sleeving through the big 8-inch or whatever size double wall that is. We better get a jug up here and get going. Yeah, it's not quite time to flip it back to cool yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and get the jug up there. This ain't gonna be no fun. I forgot an umbrella. Carrying a full jug of R22 up the ladder is no fun, but tie that rope to it, pull it right up. So I sincerely hope that this thing having a leak is all that's wrong. Look how high the standing static pressure is now. Boy, you know that coil is hot. Let some of it in. Not much. All right. So we're gonna go switch it back from heat to cool. See what the pressures look like. And you can see where we're parked. Power lines there, they cross each other here. That's a total death trap right there. No way to put it there. So, come around to the back of the building here. Okay. I waited a minute before I turned the camera back on. I didn't want y'all to hear the old man huffing and puffing after climbing that ladder. Yesterday was my birthday. 59 years old today. I wonder how many more years of this I got left in me. So we know this thing's leaking. So no, I'm not gonna weigh it in. No, I'm not gonna measure superheat. No, I'm not gonna do anything other than a gas and go. We know it's leaking. This is a tenant here that's stuck with the bills. According to them and the one other guy way over on the other end that I worked for one time, according to them, the property owners are cheap and don't want to pay for anything, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I'm going to try to gas him up and see if we can get him some air. But I tell you, that right there is just really nice. Obviously, most of us would have just left the cap and bought a 4x8 or 4x6 or 7, whatever size that double wall is there. We would have just bought an increaser. It's probably a $40 or $50 fitting, so they didn't want to buy that. So they just made them a cap and flap top, cut through it, gobbed it up, and I mean, I guess that works. At least they didn't just stick the 4-inch 3 or 4 feet up into the bigger pipe and then leave it there to, you know, draft out. So at least they didn't do that, but I think I would have just hooked it up and bought what I had to buy. Let's see what we got here. We got 70 on the low side and 207 on the high side. It's not real hot today. It's probably 86 or 88 degrees when I looked a little while ago. I hadn't looked in the last hour, but so I would say that right there is pretty much stuffed full. We are getting good hot air, but because I heated that coil so much, and because, which really doesn't have anything to do with watching the head pressure out here, but I'm gonna let this thing run a few minutes before I just walk away from it. But I'm probably gonna leave it. Give it a few minutes. So while we're giving it a minute, we'll walk around on this junky roof. A couple of our friends do this kind of work every day. There's Chris at HVACR videos. He's got a heck of a channel going. I think most of you guys probably watch him, and if you don't, you need to start. That's HVACR videos. That's Chris. He's a good guy. He's a really good tech. He does a lot of restaurant equipment, refrigeration stuff. Hopefully in California where he lives, they don't allow things to be quite so junked up. This is another restaurant up here. These go to an actual high-end restaurant. Looks like there's a big ductless unit that's been abandoned. She's unhooked and sitting there. Who knows, they might have brought it and never finished installing it. And look at the way those line sets just flop over the edge of the roof, and I understand why they take them through the wall. It's a lot less issue of causing a roof leak. So if you don't know how to penetrate these type roofs, you really shouldn't. But that big square smokestack, we call them, that's Henry's Barbecue. And if you're a barbecue fan, they're pretty good. Some of our friends that have become independents on their own actually learned from them. Look at all that dripping grease off the top of that. There's the makeup air running. So let's go back over here and check on our unit. So those two trains right there and there are his. He's got a little church here called Fuel the Church. And I know him. I've worked for him before. Let's see what he's got here. 21 years old, 4 tons. This one's not quite as old. Somebody has butchered it a little bit. That one's from 2003. Actually a 5-ton. Doesn't look very big for a 5-ton. Look at the nice job they did on the wiring. So what happens is the sun bakes that, and eventually just it becomes brittle and cracks and falls off, and the reversing wires from the universal motor just fall down into the blade. So I don't know why anybody needs to leave that plug on there. The thing you want to do there is you want to cut those wires really short and wire it with either, you know, wire nuts are even better than this, but some type of weatherproof connector and wire, and the wires are really short and they can just hang and you don't have to strap it to the top. Now here they did a little better strap job. That's actually a metal, but it's really thin. It's almost like a bread tie. It's holding those wires because I guess the conduit's gone. I tell you, people will do anything. Shove a little bit more in this thing and hope he can get by for the summer. Connie had that rope in her van. Otherwise, I was looking at toting the jug up here, and I was going to come over here and drop it down, let it land on its bottom down there in the bushes, mulch, whatever's down there. But since she's got this rope, I'll let it up and down that way. But I think we're probably good, or we're as good as we're going to be. So we're going to leave it. Let's get down and go to the next one. Here it comes. Yeah. There you go. right. Goodbye, cruel world.